taking off I think he's taking the warhead off the missile, but he's using the gunpowder that would set off the warhead to make a bomb to blow up. But again, he doesn't explain anything. He just does it, and it's probably pretty accurate because I don't know why they would spend so much time on that shot. This would be the time where, you have the female lead probably say, "Hey, Casey, what are you doing?
What is this? This is heavy. What is this thing?"
Again, in Dark Territory, the same scene happens. Morris Chestnut, who's a noticeably better actor, Casey's in a kitchen and he says, "Hey, Casey, what are you doing?" And Casey goes, "I'm building a bomb." It's the literal same scene, but I guess she is not good or something. They just gave her no lines, where she just watches him and watches the bomb.
Well, I think they do explain, because this is when he's got his team guys all there. Cause he's like, "You gunners, mate, we've got artillery for this thing, haven't we?" And they talk about starbursts,
right.
And I don't know what that is. And then, but they're loading these giant white cylindrical things about the size of a shoebox into something. It's doing something. It all helps. It all works.
It's like the stopper for the cannon, so like nothing flies in the cannon. And starbursts are like flares that they want to like light up the sky without firing like an actual shot. So they're shooting the starbursts. That's what they have in there. But then after the starbursts are fired, under the starbursts are going to be like an actual live round of some sort. Again, I've seen Greyhound, so I know.
Okay, fair enough. Actually, we skipped the bit where there's a SEAL team coming in to save them in a helicopter, and they just get shot down. So it doesn't. This is
by Luigi. I think Luigi and them shoot him.
Maybe. So actually, there's 2 helicopters explode in this film. Will Slater needs to get on this.
Yes, get on. He probably knows every time I try to point out a helicopter movie, he's like, "Yes, I've done it 15 times. Okay, leave me alone."
I should start doing that. I should start sending him really obvious ones. I found one. I found one.
Black Hawk Down. Have you seen Black Hawk Down?
Jurassic World.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one, have you?
There's a little film called Jurassic World. Have you heard?
Yes, they take out the SEALs, and then the whole team are building these weapons of some kind because they need to take out the submarine. And Gary Busey's on the submarine. He is far too confident that he doesn't have anything to worry about right up until he explodes.
He's right though. If Casey doesn't exist, they win. Because he says, "Look, all I need is this and this and this." And before everything goes wrong, presumably, it worked. He fixed the thing that Casey broke or whatever.
But the submarine he stood on gets fired upon. They're saying like, "Oh, they haven't got anything on there that can damage us," and then a shell gets fired at them that explodes nearby, and they realize, "Oh, this is something that could damage us." They are still calm when a second shot comes and hits. That's my problem.
You wanted him to be more like, "Oh crap!
Come on, hurry up!" And he's like, this is
he's taking his Band-Aid off. He's like, "Right back is gone." He's doing all that type of stuff.
Nope, bang, gone. Gary Busey has been killed, and Cole Meany was killed earlier by Erika Eleniak.
That arc. What do you feel about her arc?
Oh yeah, because she starts out terrified, hating guns, and then she learns to. It's not much of an arc. It's more of a straight line of she just want to do it, and then she does it.
It's like peekaboo. It's like, I'm afraid of guns. Now I'm not. Yeah. I'll never kill anybody, and I don't date musicians. And then Casey says the great line, "So now, well, the next thing I know, you'll be dating musicians." That's a good line. That was a good. He has some good ones in here. He has a couple good ones.
Yeah, that's it. His comedy does kind of work. I think the bigger issue I have is the relationship that forms between the two of them, because it's been very much like brother and sister, or just she's along for the ride, he doesn't want it to be, up until like when they blow up the submarine, she hugs him, but it's still very much like a friendly hug, it seems. And then the final scene, once everything's dealt with, he grabs her head, turns it, and kisses it in a way that I don't know if was in the script.
Yeah, that scene, because her reaction is very.
Yeah, doesn't think she had a lot of choice in that scenario.
It's very like, it's not like, "Oh, he kissed me." It's not like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, Mom," kind of situation. Yeah. I felt very icky. I felt icky about that.
Yeah, and it wasn't great. The entire crew all screaming and baying at her when she landed on the helicopter. And like people who aren't up on deck, just caressing the TV screens, watching her walking along. I'm like, I get it, you're in the Navy, but calm down. Like, you're being filmed for a movie.
I think they don't even call her by her name. I think they just call her the month. Miss
July, yeah.
Miss July the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, so it's just now Tommy Lee Jones and a few of his guys left. So
Tommy Lee, who was standing right next to the cannon as it was blowing up Gary Busey.
Yeah, so he's either deaf or dead at this point from just being next to a firing cannon. So Seagal breaks in. Tommy Lee Jones wearing sunglasses. He's put his leather jacket back on in a darkened room. He's still wearing his sunglasses when Seagal comes in. And the two of them have a fight. And this kind of brings me back to when we watched Cliffhanger. We had Stallone and John Lithgow fighting. And if Stallone and John Lithgow are going to have a fight, my money's always going to be on Stallone. Because the other guy's John Lithgow. Mm-hmm. But in that scenario, Lithgow actually kind of gets the upper hand.
Because he would have, because in the plot, he's military and Stallone's a rock climber.
And also, Stallone keeps like checking back on other people. He's trying to save various aspects of it, whereas Lithgow's only directive is kill this guy.
Yep.
But here, it's Steven Seagal and Tommy Lee Jones. My money is, of course, on Steven Seagal. And Steven Seagal handily wins.
This is what bothers me about Under Siege. And this is why Dark Hurt's great. Because you got Carl, and I guess this is the Carl, no, it's kind of like a Carl mixed with Hans confrontation. But when Carl fights McClane's a cop, but this guy's like a trained murderer, so they're kind of on a even-ish ground where even Carl's got an advantage, but McClane's fighting for his life and Carl's fighting for revenge. It's kind of it could go either way. Here, there is like, this is like the Fast and the Furious thing where Seagal was like, I can't get hurt in this movie. I don't want any damage to happen to me.
He gets a cut on his eyebrow.
I get a cut on my eye, and that's it. They probably had to negotiate that for hours. Like, can we at least like cut your eye or?
Bear in mind that during this fight, Tommy Jones has a knife, goes to stab him with it, and Seagal catches it in his mouth. It
makes no sense. I'm like, you won. just keep going.
He bites on the blade and rips out Tommy Jones's hand.
If Daffy Duck did it, it would make less sense. I was like, what? I was like, wait, I don't understand. I remember I was thinking of the scene in Rob Roy where Tim Roth is fighting Liam Neeson, and spoiler alert for Rob Roy. He's like jabbing up Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson's is on the ground, and because he's got hubris, Tim Roth kind of swings down a sword, and Liam Neeson catches it in his hand, takes the cut because it's not a dead cut, but it gives him the advantage to strike Tim Roth.
Wait, he catches a sword blade in his hand.
Right. But you don't catch it in your freaking mouth. that doesn't make any. That didn't make any sense to me. I was like, "That's how you're ending this fight."
So he disarms Tommy Jones with his mouth, and then takes his own knife and just rams it into Tommy Jones's head.
That's not over. That's not enough. That's not enough.
Then smashes Tommy Jones into a communication panel.
It's like, you're not dead enough for me, okay?
And then takes the disc with the launch codes out of his back pocket, and then they've got like 2 minutes left to disarm the missiles before they blow up the world. I don't know.
Hawaii, Honolulu, I believe. Okay. But let me ask you a question about this scene that's coming up here. This disarm the missile scene. What's the biggest flaw of this? What's the knife in the mouth part of this scene right here? Do you remember? There's a big flaw that I don't understand. I
don't know what it is. What is it? Tell me.
They're showing like a perspective of the missile on the view screen.
Okay. I have something else, but you go ahead.
It's flying toward Honolulu, and well, again, this is a nuclear missile. Once it hits, Honolulu, nuclear yield, it's gonna probably take over like most of Hawaii. It's gone, right? So it's taking a path, and I guess this is some kind of something a missile person could tell me, but it's like dodging rocks, and I'm like, why? just hit the rock and it's over. I guess it's going by a certain trajectory, but you would think the trajectory would be the first big landmass hit it, but you're following the camera on the missile, and it's like weaving in and out of like mountain peaks, and I'm like, just go down. It's all just go straight down. That's it.
I think my concern is that they're trying to disarm the missile. There's two missiles that have been fired. One gets shot down, and the other one they're trying to deactivate before it arrives. Right. And they managed to, but I think it still explodes. They deactivate it, and it explodes in midair.
Yeah, nuclear won't go off unless the nuke is actually detonated. You can like fire a gun at a warhead, and it won't go off.
See, I'm assuming that everything is like Chimera in The Rock. Like, if it goes off, it's just that's right. Yeah, dead.
I had heard that before, and it might have been another movie about nuclear missiles where they said like if it can lay in a pool of gasoline and it won't detonate, it has to detonate for it, the normal way for the nuclear. You know, because have you ever seen what's that movie where they take apart the nuclear warhead and it's like encased in like titanium, and you gotta get to another thing, and there's a panel, and I think it's The Rock. I'm pretty sure it's The Rock. So yeah, for it to blow up, they're just blowing up, because if you watch that scene again, you can see the warhead has a little parachute on it.
Right. Okay.
And which is probably from some kind of stock footage. That part I got. I was like, okay, fine, sure, because I think he says it even earlier, because when they were firing at the nuke, Miss July or whatever it says. Are we going to blow up the nuke? And he goes, no, it doesn't work that way or whatever. So they set that up. But the part where the missile is dodging the mountain peaks that are trying to hit of its target, I didn't understand that part.
Yeah, okay. So the day is saved. Everything's fine. They de-weld the door open, save the guys that are inside it. And then I think it's Q-Ball, who's like one of the guys from the galley earlier, who like Seagal was like, "Hey, show me some moves, Q-Ball," and he does a little dance. Another guy does a dance.
It's a move. It's called date rape.
It's called sexual assault.
Sexual assault. You know, I go, yeah, sexual assault
in front of the whole crew.
There's another part of this that right before this scene that I laugh every time is when Casey Ryback deactivates the last nuke. And everybody's like, yeah! And you kind of hear in the background, Kate, because the military had sent like their last resort was to send like the Air Force to bomb the boat. And you hear Casey go, call off the bombers. And I'm like, that's a better movie here when they don't hear him. They kill everybody on the boat because they didn't hear they forgot to call off the bombers.
Yeah, well, fortunately they don't do that. They do call off the bombers. And then we cut to Navy funeral. Seagal is now in his Navy dress uniform. He's wearing his ribbons. Mm-hmm. I assume it's for the captain.
Yeah.
The numerous other people who died doesn't matter. They're just honouring the captain here. And in the background, John Tate now wearing a Navy uniform. Are we to assume she has now joined the Navy?
I didn't think about that. I thought it was like some kind of she's like a guest of honor, or at least still at
because she's still in line with the other guys. She's just but she's not wearing the hat. All the other guys are wearing the hat and saluting, where she's wearing the same uniform, no hat, and crying.
Is that okay? Let me ask you a question. I can't remember. Is that before that funeral, before or after they docked? Because maybe they just gave her whatever clothes they had on the boat. I can't remember if it's after. If it's after they docked, it makes absolutely no sense.
I'm watching it now. Well, if it's before they docked, they would have had a coffin on board.
Well, yeah, they probably have coffins on board. If they get shot, if somebody dies, they give them burial at sea. I can buy that.
It is at sea because it is on the deck of the battleship. So maybe that is just we have these clothes. You can have these clothes.
But that's the best clothes they can get her is the Popeye uniform.
Maybe. But then it's just putting her in line with everyone else is what I didn't understand. But fine. So maybe she hasn't joined the Navy. But
I like to think she joined the Navy. She did kill a man.
She did, yes. Yeah, it was a fun first day. So that's Under Siege. A film I enjoyed a great deal. Any other thoughts that we didn't get to, DJ? Anything we missed?
What was your favorite kill? Is it Tommy Lee Jones
I think it's got to be. Because it got the whole protracted fight beforehand. You got the knife in the teeth, and you got just the knife in the head.
That's so stupid. He bites it with his teeth.
And well, the beam the girder going through the guy